Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. You can visit my website for study material, for model papers and live sessions. You can also follow me socially. All the links are given in description. In the previous session, we introduced the general idea of culture, civilization, ideology and cultures. Today, we will look at the broad landscape of popular culture. There is a very high correlation between a person's occupation, her socio-economic status, the kind of music that appealed to him or her, and the kind of literature that he or she read, and so on and so forth. Popular culture provides a kind of audiovisual profile of a nation. It pictures the smiles and it echoes the sighs of contentment. Some advocates of popular culture insist that popular culture is essential for the health of academics. Not only this, they also argue that popular culture is the practical, pragmatic humanities. It can be used as a tool to assist in education. This popular culture can be utilized in numerous ways, like to encourage learning, to overcome illiteracy, to retain people in school, and to energize our educational system. The popular culture is like the TV programs we watch, food we eat, the type of attire we wear, the music we appreciate, the things we spend money on. In short, the whole society we live in. Popular culture is virtually our life and the world that surrounds us. In 19th century, Matthew Arnold's school of thought worried that popular culture represented a threat to cultural and social authority. But the Frankfurt School, that is a group of German intellectuals, they argued that it actually produces the opposite effect. That is, it maintains social authority. It is not a kind of threat to cultural and social authority, but it maintains it. The popular culture is surely culture which is widely favored or well liked by many people. For this, one has to examine only market. That is, sales of books, sales of albums or videos. It is true that good number of new products fail to make a mark despite extensive advertising. Even many films fail to recover their promotional costs at the box office. And about 80% of music and video albums released every year lose money. There seems to be almost a natural relationship between the popular and the masses. Hegemony or hegemony, both the pronunciations are correct. Hegemony. To understand popular culture in its entirety, it would be unwise to ignore the development of the concept of hegemony or hegemony, that is leadership or dominance. Antonio Gramsci, an Italian Marxist, he uses the term hegemony to refer to the way in which the dominant groups in society through process of intellectual and moral leadership seek to win the consent of the subordinate groups in society. This theory is also known as New Gramscian Hegemony theory. It sees popular culture as a site of struggle between resistance of subordinate groups and the forces of incorporation of the dominant groups in society. Thus, this popular culture is not the imposed culture of the mass culture theorists, nor is it the culture that emerges from below. Rather, it is a terrain of exchange and negotiation between the two, a condition of ideological struggle between dominant and subordinate cultures. Popular culture has also been defined as modern majority culture, protest culture, a counter tradition in literature, para or sub-literature, public enterprise as opposed to private enterprise. Now, let us take a look at popular culture as an offshoot of American culture. If popular culture in its modern form was invented in any one place, it was in the great cities of United States, and above all in New York. The claim that popular culture is American culture has a long history within the theoretical mapping of popular culture. It operates under the term Americanization. Popular culture, you may have read popular literature like stories, songs, fiction, romances, plays, etc., existed since time immemorial. Serious consideration of broad field of popular literature as a significant category only started in 20th century. So, popular literature in its simplest sense was that kind of literature that was excluded from the academia. It was not taught in school and university classrooms. In fact, it was not even literature. It was considered to be songs, stories, legends, fables, and kitchen-made romances not worthy to be taught, but still existed and were mass-produced and consumed by the people and had a life of their own. Within its ambit were found a tradition of folk narratives and orature. Orature, oral transmission as part of a particular culture. Lastly, Fiedler, Leslie Fiedler. Leslie Fiedler is an academician. He promoted the popular in literary and cultural discourse. In his essay toward a definition of popular literature, Leslie Fiedler, he considers popular song and story, mostly story, as popular literature. By popular literature, he implies that literature which has ghettoized or excluded from university education but has endured on its own. Popular literature is not a category, it's not a type, a subgenre, or invention of the authors of the books. In fact, the concept of popular literature it exists primarily in the perception of illicit critiques, or better, perhaps in their misperception, their deliberate misapprehension. It was Fiedler in 1975. Today, we discuss this popular literature or popular culture. In the next session, we will look at the genres of popular literature. Thank you so much for listening to me.